A soul contract is an agreement that you make with another being before incarnating on the planet. Some soul contracts are for the good of humanity as well as for your own personal growth, while others can be used to subjugate and entrap. In order to incarnate on this planet, many of us took on contracts, vows, oaths, and agreements which were out of alignment to our higher selves, and due to memory wiping, holographic inserts, and etheric technology implemented by the false matrix, we forgot our histories as well as our original mission and reason for incarnating on this planet at this time. The human race is full of master creator beings. Our ability to imagine and create provides us with unlimited potential, but we have been suppressed in a variety of ways, and this suppression has been done with our consent, whether we are conscious of this or not. The false matrix is an institutionalized thought paradigm which keeps us trapped in ideologies of fear and lack, leading to duality and exhaustion. The human collective has been trained to adopt the belief that the only way to thrive is through the suffering and sacrifice of other beings in order to make a living, to belong, and to be socially accepted. Many of us have adopted soul contracts to be victimized, to be controlled, and to be subjugated by institutions, governments, and even our own spouses, family members, and friends. These soul contracts have been created out of unhealed trauma cycles and old dramas that continue to play out in our lives from other timelines. Until we make the conscious and courageous decision to choose another path, we will be subjugated to fallen timelines and trauma loops which only benefit the beings who sustain themselves by vampirizing off of our unhealed wounds. Rewrite your script. We can make the conscious decision to rewrite the most energy-draining dramas of our lives and create another narrative that is more beneficial to our highest vibrational timeline. As the consciousness of the planet continues to raise, it behooves us to learn more about the contracts, vows, oaths, and agreements we have consented to, and to revoke the ones rooted in third and fourth dimensional realities and frameworks, because these are usually prone to the most manipulation and fallen timelines. If the vibration of the planet is able to shift, then the scripts of our lives should be able to shift as well. No one else but us can make these changes for us. We must revoke all consent and agreements that we have made to our oppression. This can be a tedious process, but the reclamation of our God power makes the process worth it. When we revoke soul contracts and reimagine karma, we are able to embrace our multidimensionality, see beyond and think beyond the constructs of energetic vampirism and narcissistic projection, and weave a new reality into being. We co-create with source consciousness and build a new matrix of love, abundance, and expansion. Rewriting our script enables us to reclaim our power to create the reality of our choosing. Karma and the 3D pain trap. Karma is the manifestation of the law of cause and effect and is the result of personal, familial, institutional, and planetary behaviors and consequences. The notion of karma has been distorted on planet Earth as it's been used as a tool to manipulate, imprison, and oppress. Healing karma is necessary for humanity to move into our next stage of evolution, and thus it is inherently humanitarian. Feeling judgment and shame about karma takes us away from 0 point or the flow state and keeps us in polarity consciousness and out of our power. Healing karma and revoking soul contracts out of alignment of our highest vibrational timelines helps us to return back to 0 point. Western society usually does not validate the existence of karma. This is by design, because it has been traditionally used to keep humanity trapped within a cycle of death and reincarnation, which is an infringement of universal law. The false matrix has been able to thrive for quite some time as a result of energetic vampirism from false light programming, which keeps awakening individuals on a hamster wheel of thinking they are reaching spiritual evolution while getting immersed in consciousness traps. These consciousness traps are perpetuated by false ascended masters on the astral realm in the 4D and corrupt spiritual teachers on the earthly plane in the 3rd dimension, who invert sacred teachings in service to self as opposed to service to others. An essential way that the controllers of the false matrix have vampirized off of the human population has been through the false umbilicus connected to humans on the astral plane, which has kept souls in a cycle of death and reincarnation, constantly being manipulated to reincarnate to learn lessons from past lives through karma, while at the same time having their minds wiped and being unable to remember actions that they are atoning for, which keeps them stuck in a constant cycle of death, rebirth, and karmic burden. Karma and the war on starseeds. This issue is especially relevant to starseeds, beings who are currently incarnated to raise the collective consciousness during planetary ascension, because they have been traditionally targets for karmic superimposition through karmic containment units, or KCUs. These serve as a containment device within a person's etheric template and influences a person's perception of themselves through the lens of karma. These devices can cause humans to collect karma which is not even really theirs. This is a process called karmic superimposition, which has been used as a spiritual warfare tactic on starseeds to block them from ascending off of planet Earth and keeping them in a parasitic relationship with the controllers of the false matrix by consenting to living in a dense reality full of economic hardship and strife, while being brainwashed to believe that they need to pay for karma that many times isn't theirs. For example, many times the perpetuators of war crimes are aware of the universal law of karma and yet refuse to acknowledge the scales of balance for engaging in harmful behaviors such as war, murder, and other victimizing behaviors. So what they'll do is they will superimpose the karma onto someone else, many times who they see as an enemy, which can be individuals who identify as star seeds, since many times it is star seeds who incarnate onto planet Earth in order to expose and deconstruct the false matrix. So these same controllers invert the universal law of cause and effect in order to, quote unquote, get away with service to self behaviors and scapegoat star seeds to take the fall for their actions through the implementation of karmic containment units and karmic transference. This can explain the age-old question of, why do bad things happen to good people? Why does evil seem to go unpunished? Many times it's because the current controllers of the society that we are living in are subverting universal law so that they don't have to be accountable for their actions, and instead they scapegoat beings of the light to, quote unquote, pay for their sins. We can also see this drama play out in the highly publicized crucifixion of Jesus Christ. This is textbook narcissistic projection on a massive scale. In this regard, the human population has been used as batteries to power up the consciousness of extra-dimensional beings and entities living in a fallen state of energetic vampirism, and karma has been weaponized for this purpose. Healing through 0 point. The way to heal from this injustice is to see beyond the veil of karma as it relates to the fallen system governed by the false matrix. This requires us to be in the world, but not necessarily of it, and to question the implementation of karma in our society. When we carry heavy feelings of guilt, shame, and judgment as it relates to karma, we are in essence feeding into the energy harvesting scheme of the controllers of the false matrix by feeding our negative and dense emotions to this fallen system, which they then vampirize off of. This feeds into victim-victimizer programming, which then feeds the negative ego and keeps us cycling through trauma loops. Moreover, soul contracts have been developed all throughout the human population to keep karmic cycles going and to keep us out of alignment from our highest purpose. The key to decreasing suffering is to reach 0 point energy or non-duality so that we are living in harmony with the law of one and universal love. Being in a state of neutrality, we become aligned with our Hara line or core soul template and our true life's purpose. Maintaining 0 point also ensures that we are in a state of mental, emotional, and spiritual balance, which makes us less susceptible to manipulation by false timelines and external agendas. This helps us to discern which agreements have been made for us to learn and grow from, and which agreements have been made out of fear and oppression. As we take up the agency to rewrite our stories, we heal from intergenerational trauma and intergenerational karma, and we learn to flatten out false timelines related to trauma loops and instead embody and embrace a state of 0 point energy. Please share this recording with someone if you have found it useful, and if you are interested in learning more about how to rewrite soul contracts and to reimagine karma, please check out my contact information below. And always remember that you are the key. Until next time.